Hello ladies and gentlemen to the Madrid Grand Prix, Spanish Grand Prix of Season 2. It's round 12 out of 15. Only 100 points technically up for grabs here. That does technically mean, well, it does technically mean 19 cars are still mathematically in champions of the championship. After this race, only 75 points to be up for grabs, and currently there is an 11-point gap at the top of the standings between Charles Leclerc and George Russell. And a 16-point gap at the top of the standings between Leclerc and Antonelli. This championship is really close, and I'm sure we all want to see who comes out. Of course, this track hasn't hosted an F1 Grand Prix at all in real life. This, I will say now, is not like a tell what's going to happen in real life, because it's just not. For starters, the pit lane's on the wrong side, I'm pretty sure. Lindblad is the first one out on track. I do want to show off though the banking on this track. I'll see that in a second. Of course, Lewis Hamilton, he won his first Grand Prix in this fantasy championship universe, and his own Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix. That was an incredible race. But of course, he's currently stuck behind traffic on his first lap, which is not ideal. As Lindblad, there he is, he's going for the banking now. It just shows that ranking is absolutely quite impressive. We're actually going to be watching Carlos Sainz go for it in a second. There was Carlos Sainz, he's up. There he is. I can't wait to see how the cars take that in the race. Boris obviously yet to score a point. They've had a couple of good qualifyings this season though, with Tsunoda quite high up in qualifying, except last race. I'm pretty sure he qualified quite low down last race. Currently on board with R12 though. Going through the banking. Under the bridge now. Under the motorway, or highway, whatever you want to call it. Here he is, entering the final corner now, starting the bench. Put it on the benchmark lap time before we head to Lance Stroll. Arvid Lindblad puts benchmark lap time of 1 minute 13.4 with Lance Stroll. I doubt he'll beat that, I don't think. Yeah, he does not beat that. As we head to Alex Dunn now, who has a little bit of traffic. I can't imagine they'll go too fast because of that traffic. In fact, yeah, they don't. Perez miles off the pace, so is Dunn and Gasly. He does go fastest though, from red to Piastri. Then we head to Hamilton, who goes P1 so far. Max Verstappen, he could be a shout for pole position potentially this race. Where is he going to put his car? Max Verstappen only goes P5 as Hadjar goes P8, and Charles Leclerc now rounds the final corner. Charles Leclerc crosses that line to place his car in P2 behind his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Antonelli and George Russell only 8th and 12th. Lando Norris, he puts his car in P4 behind his teammate, and Nico Hülkenberg's P8. The two Mercedes drivers, the two championship rivals of the, well, four technically I think it is, well, they're down in P11 and 14. They will want to improve in that lap. And by the way, they had clean air. That was just genuine pace, I'm pretty sure. That's shocking. Seems to be a bit of a pile up in the pit lane here, and to take a while to get in between Hamilton and Piastri. Lindblad though instantly out for his next lap. Porsche again showing pace of Yuki Tsunoda in P7 as he goes out for another lap. Oh no, wait, no, he's even coming in the pits. I think he's coming to the pits. Arvid Lindblad starts his second lap, but he will definitely hit traffic. I'm starting to think that pit exit turn 1 might be a bit of a death zone during the race. He hits the traffic. There's Arvid Lindblad of McLaren of I think is Lando Norris. Yeah, it was Lando Norris. Being held up by Mercedes. Oh, I can't tell what Mercedes is. They need to start splitting deliveries a bit more if you can't really define who's who in this game. Let's find totally different separate liveries. Through the banking now, it's not that fast. 6th gear. I can imagine it's a bit slower because of the car in front of him, but I think it is a Cadillac as he swoops around the outside and the Cadillac to go to the inside. This next part of the track, I can imagine be quite difficult to follow, it's quite difficult to overtake potentially. But this is the Monoposto F1 Fantasy Championship. Anything can happen, anything does happen. After a lot of traffic this lap, I do not see Arvid Lindblad improving from P20. He's 1.069 seconds behind the leader. Watch that, see if that gets smaller. It crosses the line now. Naturally does not get smaller. Because Alex Dunn, who also hit traffic this lap, but he's not the next car to finish his lap, but he's one of them. So Alex Dunn is once again stuck behind a Cadillac of Sergio Perez, who's in a flying lap. He is not improving his lap, Alex Dunn. Here's Max Verstappen. Can he improve from P12? He's got clean air, but he might get a bit of slipstream on the start very straight. It's a very short start very straight in this track. Here we go, across the line with Max Verstappen. Can Verstappen improve from P12? He does not improve, it doesn't looks like. Lewis Hamilton, can he improve that gap? He's currently in provisional pole. Can Lewis Hamilton make that gap any larger? The answer to that is no, he cannot make the gap any larger. We've now got Kimi Antonelli. He is a championship rival sitting down in P15. Alex Albon in P11. Kimi Antonelli does... I cannot tell if he improved or not. I can't see where he is. I can't see where Kimi Antonelli is. I'm assuming he's improved. He has improved, he's down to P11. He's only P11 though, Kimi Antonelli. George Russell, who's down in P13, kind of stuck behind the Cadillac at the end there. George Russell, does he improve in P13? The answer is no. He's still down in P13. Nico Hülkenberg is the last one to finish his flying lap there. The two Mercedes drivers, two of the championship contenders, are down in P11 and P13. Mercedes not having a strong pace throughout this weekend. Qualifying session has ended. Here we go for the starting grids. Hamilton and Leclerc lock out the front row for Ferrari. Piastri third, Lando Norris fourth. Fifth, Oliveira, another great qualifying for him. Sixth, Pierre Gasly for Braun GP. Seventh, Yuki Tsunoda, good qualifying for him. Eighth, Nico Hülkenberg. Ninth, Gabriel Bortoleto. 10th, Carlos Sainz. 11th is Kimi Antonelli. 12th is Alex Albon. 13th is George Russell, disappointing for him. 14th is Max Verstappen. 15th is Esteban Ocon. 10th place is down from his teammate. 16th, Isaac Hadjar. 17th, Fernando Alonso. 18th, Joshua Pearson. 19th, Sonny Hayes. 20th is Valtteri Bottas. 21st is Aaron Lindblad. 22nd is Lance Stroll. 23rd is Alex Dunn. 24th is Sergio Perez. That starting grid sequence thing can be so fast for me to keep up. It's quite difficult. Here we go. 4, 5 red lights. Here's the revs. His lights out, away they go. It seems like a good start for Lewis Hamilton there on the front of the grid from Charles Leclerc. He's ahead of Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc though staying close to him, with Oscar Piastri now looking on the inside of him. Leclerc on medium tyres compared to his teammate on soft. Piastri on the inside of Charles Leclerc, from the inside of his long flat out section. He's going to have the inside into this really windy, annoying chicane. Oscar Piastri takes second place. It seems like Bartley Behrman got past Lando Norris, and he got up into 4th place. Lando Norris is actually being attacked a little bit. No, he's not. Yuki Tsunoda, it's all over. Pierre Gasly for 6th place. Yuki Tsunoda, he's got very unlucky despite his really good qualifying positions during the races. He's currently still looking on the inside. Oh, the safety car in the background. Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen crashed in the wall there. Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen have crashed into the wall as a championship contender out of this race. Kimi Antonelli, a championship contender, is now out of this race. At the banking, I told you somebody would get taken out down there. That is absolutely disappointing for him and Mercedes. His teammate, meanwhile, who started, I think, P13, is up into P12 on hard tyres. They're going for the long one, I reckon. Well, Kimi Antonelli is that his championship hopes potentially dashed and taken away from him on the opening lap of the Madrid and Spanish Grand Prix. It's a shame because Lewis Hamilton made such a brilliant gap at the start of that race. Good start for Ollie Behrman, P5 to P4 on lap 1. Potentially a challenger for the podium, is he? I don't know. He might have difficulty keeping that McLaren of Lando Norris behind him as when the safety car resumes. No, when the race resumes. Okay, well, anybody coming to the pits potentially in lap 2? I don't think they will, but you never know. Most drivers are on soft and medium tyres, except Russell and Lance Stroll, who are on hard tyres. Imagine they're going quite long here. It means the safety car, I doubt, is ideal for them. Actually, no, they might be quite good because it keeps the tyres in good temperature. Lap cars may not overtake, so I assume the safety cars come in lap 3. It might be a bit interesting to see what George Russell does. Of course, he needs to recover. He needs to try to score some good points here to kind of keep the championship hopes alive. Of course, he's only 11, 12 points behind. I can't remember, behind Charles Leclerc. But I still think this race is proper crucial for him in the championship. and it could really probably negatively affect him in the championship. But I find it interesting how Hamilton's gone for soft tyres, not Ferrari, and the championship leader Charles Leclerc has gone for mediums. So they're clearly pulling an opposite strategy, which means by the end of this race, if they're on like Hamilton mediums, Leclerc soft, you could see Leclerc potentially really reeling in Hamilton and potentially trying to fight him for the win. Because of course, last race where Hamilton won, it got very close to the end. Leclerc had one lap fresh tyres. You're on the same tyres, but that one lap proved to be enough. And Leclerc was all over Hamilton. I need to change these helmets because Hamilton used to have the purple helmet, so he's kind of relate him to the purple helmet to Hamilton. But currently, Leclerc's got the purple helmet, of course. Hamilton has the yellow helmet in real life. He's got a blue helmet in this game. Hamilton has a yellow helmet this year in real life. Okay, so the safety car, I'm pretty sure, is in this lap. Just waiting to see. Yeah, it is confirmed the safety car is in this lap. We're now going to see if Hamilton can hold off Oscar Piastri, or if Leclerc could potentially hold off Bahrain, because Bahrain has soft tyres compared to Leclerc's medium. Okay, around the final corner now. When does Hamilton go? He's taking the far right line. Compared to Oscar Piastri, he's in the middle of the track. Well, now goes to the middle of the track. Now we're on board with Hamilton. It's not ideal right now. Hamilton seems to easily have gotten potentially away from Oscar Piastri now, who is actually looking for an inside overtake. Oh, Lando Norris and Ollie Behrman are as expected, seem to be battling instantly off the starter. Hamilton fastest sector one as expected. Oh, what an amazing late breaking move from Lando Norris, but it's not over yet. As Lando Norris, there's contact there. He's in the wall. As they've crashed there, it's Charles Leclerc involved. Charles Leclerc is involved, and that is Lando Norris out of this race. But championship leader Charles Leclerc is involved. We saw the contact. Lando Norris, he late braked amazingly to get past Ollie Behrman, and he went to a sudden attack on Charles Leclerc, and then all of a sudden there, they just lock up and go straight on. And I wonder if Leclerc might get a penalty for that. Lando Norris is out of the race. Championship leader Charles Leclerc, he might have some damage, I do not know. Yuki Tsunoda now up to P5 as he now look through the field, looking for potentially some battles going on somewhere. The virtual safety car has gone in. Hadjar's got a 5-second penalty. There's a crash there. Hadjar Lindblad's out of the race, and Hadjar is facing the wrong way. And Hadjar is out of the race, and Lindblad's out of the race and on fire there. And Hadjar is got down in P20 and out of this race. What a chaotic restart for the Spanish Grand Prix here at Madrid. Now we see Oscar Piastri. Kind of looks like he's been caught up by Charles Leclerc. Is this like a strategy? Like potentially Oscar Piastri slowing down into the virtual safety car? And he's going to speed up here early? No, he's not. I think he's genuinely just been caught up. And Oscar Piastri got an issue. We've seen them through the catch mention there. Yuki Tsunoda is looking like he's potentially going to look. Oh no, Charles Leclerc's going slowly. And Ollie Behrman takes third place off Charles Leclerc. Potentially it's due to the medium tyres. Does not look like Fernando Alonso, who's pitting. He's on soft. He pitted for hard tyres. Soft tyres do not seem like they're actually lasting potentially here. But medium tyres, these look quite slow compared to soft tyres as well. Now Leclerc been overtaken by the Porsche Yuki Tsunoda, who moves up to 4th place. As we now see another battle behind them of Hulkenberg and Gasly and Sainz and Bordeaux. Gasly stays ahead of Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg's rounding outside into the back corner. A lot of contact there, I thought they were in the wall for a second there, but no, they continue going. Bordeaux on the inside of Carlos Sainz on the outside. Hulkenberg stays on the inside of Pierre Gasly though. Hulkenberg and Pierre Gasly stay side by side. They're still fighting. It looks like we're going to get a green flag lap here for here, which is good. As well, I always like to see that, obviously. But it seems like Hulkenberg, and this is not the view we want, Hulkenberg and Gasly are still fighting for, sixth place. There's a lot of contact. I'm surprised they haven't got throwing damage. Hamilton finishes this lap. Gasly's into the pits. So is Ollie Behrman. In fact, a lot of the soft tyre runners, Gasly's on mediums though. I wonder if he maybe got a very slow puncture potentially because of the only contact. Look at the tyre wear on Yuki Tsunoda's car, because that does mean Charles Leclerc is caught back up to Yuki Tsunoda, and Charles Leclerc is going potentially back on the attack. Of course, he still don't know if he has some damage potentially from the crash with Lando Norris. Borlet and Ocon are out. Behrman's got a penalty. Fernando Alonso's out of the race. Behrman is out of the race. Behrman and Fernando Alonso are out of the race. Behrman, who was probably fighting for a podium in this race, of course he pitted, and that's why he was low down, is now out of the race. I was about to say, Ocon and Borlet were battling there. Behrman and Fernando Alonso are out of this race. Only 18 cars remain. Lewis Hamilton's got a huge gap, and he can probably get a pit stop in somewhere and still exit quite high up. Ocon's close to Carlos Sainz there, but his tyres are very worn as his green flag comes about. We see a bit of a battle in there potentially with Russell, who's trying to get higher up the point. Started P13, is now up into P9. Of course, some drivers have pitted who are ahead of Russell. Of course, one of them now out of the race. In fact, several drivers who are ahead of Russell are now out of this race. Perez has got a 5-second penalty. Perez and Gasly are now out of this race. I think Russell's going to get very lucky here and get put into the points by drivers out of this race. Lewis Hamilton pits for hard tyres. He pits and he's using this virtual safety car to his advantage. Perez and Gasly out of this race. A lot of the drivers who were fighting at the top of the grid now out. Hamilton's going to exit directly behind Charles Leclerc. But Charles Leclerc is yet to pit. I think we're about to see a dominant win from Lewis Hamilton here as Piastri exits and fresh soft tyres. Different strategy for McLaren and Ferrari. Hulkenberg exits in P10 directly behind Lance Stroll and ahead of Sonny Hayes, who has pitted. Hamilton, though, he's going to be all over Charles Leclerc potentially here, who's on very worn medium tyres. But Hamilton instantly cruises past Charles Leclerc and back into the lead of the race. Charles Leclerc's tyres are clearly very old. Look at him, he's dropped loads of time instantly here. This race is interesting. There is some more battling. Carlos Sainz is all over. There's another virtual safety car. Russell's out! The other championship contender's out, so is Yuki Tsunoda. Russell and Yuki Tsunoda are out. The cars despawned. I can't tell you where they are because the cars despawned. But there's only 2 championship contenders remain in this race, and it's Hamilton and Leclerc, and they are 1-2. Of course, Leclerc hasn't pitted yet. He'll have to hope that a safety car also gets him quite lucky, potentially. I've disabled virtual safety cars and safety cars for the next 3 laps. There's contact there, a lot of contact. And Piastri's in the wall, so is Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's out of this race. Championship leader is out of this race, and Piastri's got front wing damage. That is absolutely mental. The championship leader is out of this race. Only 13 cars remain. The championship leader is out of this race. That is mental. Lap 7 out of 13. Lewis Hamilton leads by an absolute landslide, I reckon, here. Guys, Piastri will have front damage. Sainz is out of this race now. All the cars are packed up as Sainz is in the middle of the pack, in the wall there. I'm going to re-enable safety car and virtual safety car now, so they can be re-enabled and come out and stuff. Borlet and Albon pit after 7 laps in their mediums. Lewis Hamilton, though, I can imagine he's just going to the end now on hard tyres. The 10-second lead. As Hulkenberg, it looks like he's going to be fighting for another podium. And that's Stroll and Aston Martin up in P4. Great race he's having. But watching Esteban Ocon and Sonny Hayes there, as they're having an interesting race. But 2 Mercedes drivers are out of this race. That's 2 championship contenders from Mercedes are out of this race. Mercedes scoring 0 points this race, which is devastating for them. I almost forgot Verstappen crashed out on lap 1 there. I was wondering where Verstappen was, but he got out on lap 1. Only one championship contender remains in this race, and he's leading the Grand Prix. It's Lewis Hamilton. Keep in mind, no driver in the history of this fantasy championship has won 2 races in a row, and I think Lewis Hamilton is on course to doing that. Piastri, he's qualified high up so many times this season, and it's now looking like he's going to do that and finally actually get lucky and finish in the podium. We're watching Isaac Hadjar. This gap's very close there. In fact, up in front, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon, they're side by side now. It looks like as Hulkenberg's called up to Piastri, so we're going to have to get ready to watch that and stuff. That's only 5 tenths between them. In fact, we're going to go back to watching that just in case anything happens here. Watching Lance Stroll potentially here, and Hayes, they're looking quite feisty as well. Back to Hayes and Lance Stroll. Hayes on the inside of Lance Stroll. Hayes is going to just cruise past Lance Stroll potentially here, as he does. As Alex Dunn is also now fighting Lance Stroll. Alex Dunn looks like he's put out attack Sonny Hayes there, but no, he backs out from that one. Lance Stroll's fallen through the field as Pierce gets past him. Them hard tyres are very old, 9-lap old hard tyres. Naturally, a lot of contact with Isaac Hadjar there. Borletto on 1 lap old, fresh, medium tyres. There's a lot of contact. I thought they were into the wall for a second. Lance Stroll dropping out down the field. He's done with 4th like a lap or 2 ago, and he's now done P11. Hulkenberg, he's dropped down from Piastri just a little bit. Oh, there's a crash in the background there, and it's Alex Albon. He's in the wall. So is Borletto. Alex Albon, he's in the wall, he's out, obviously. I think his car's also despawned, I couldn't really catch him. But virtual safety car on lap 10. This should be an opportunity for Piastri to fix that front wing potentially, and still exit around about 3rd. Maybe it might be risky, because he might he is pitting. It might be risky, because he might end up exiting lower. Hulkenberg's pitting, actually. But the VSC is ending, so this might actually prove unlucky for them. VSC is ending, so it might prove unlucky for them. It's their 2nd pit stop. Here he is, fixing the front end firing. I think Hulkenberg and Piastri are... Dunn's also pitting, but I think Hulkenberg and Piastri are expecting that virtual safety car to last longer, as they now exit down behind that big feisty pack that is battling down P6 and P8. That potentially podium's ruined for them, as Lewis Hamilton leads this race with a 24 second gap over... Oh, there's contact there. Piastri's involved in the crash. Piastri's once involved in the crash, and Pierce has got a 5-second time penalty. They continue going, but Hamilton's about to say they continue going without damage. I think that's devastating for Piastri and Pierce. I think that's going to cost them time. But I was supposed to say Hamilton's got an absolute dominant gap here, as Ocon and Hayes are fighting for a podium. So is Isaac Hadjar. Potentially we can see Pierce and Hulkenberg battling. I think it's an easy one-sided battle for Hulkenberg and just cruise past Pierce as Piastri rocks up on the scene of this battle for P2 between Ocon, Hayes, Hadjar and now Piastri. Piastri's been involved in quite a few bits of contact this race. He's now going for an overtake on Isaac Hadjar. You better be careful. There's a bit of contact there again. They head now down into the penultimate corner. There are a lot of side-by-side contact I think there was there. But he's up into P4 and Ocon is into the pits. Only a couple of laps were going. I think they know, Haas know, that the podium is not on the table for them anymore. Pierce and Hayes. So, there's contact! Not Pierce and Hayes! There's contact and Piastri's now out of this race. And Hayes is spinning around and Piastri is now out. There was a safety car and I'm pretty sure the race will end under safety car. Hayes is going to get 2nd place potentially here. Hadjar 3rd. Hulkenberg has recovered to 4th. It's a shame for Hamilton because that gap had been impressive to go to the score sheet. There's only 10 cars remaining in this race though. Piastri was up against the wall. And I think, I think that is absolutely, it's been an absolute chaotic race. My question is, do you just pit Hamilton with fresh softs just in case there's an odd chance that safety car does come in? And he's not doing it, but like, there's a chance obviously of it happening. Just like an odd chance. Well, let's take a look at this race. Both McLarens are out. Both Mercedes are out. Both Williams out, I think. Both Williams are out. I'm blind, I can't see where out one is. Yeah, both Williams are out. One Ferrari is out. Both Porsche is out again. You can know there's only finished one race this season, keep in mind. Both Aston, no Aston's only Aston's out. And I think, well, there's 2, I think that's it, and the rest just like one from each team, like there's one Braun out and stuff, and one Cadillac out, and one Haas out, and, well, let's keep them. Piastri, Albon, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Tsunoda, Perez, Gasly, Barron, Alonso, Limblad, Norris, Antonelli and Verstappen are out of this race. 3 of which are championship contenders. Charles Leclerc out, he's out in P14. Kimi Antonelli, he's out in P23, and George Russell, he's out in P15. Charles Leclerc, of course, out in a collision, I think, with Oscar Piastri. I want to say, I could be wrong. I can't remember. There's be so much I can't remember. Antonelli out on that first lap collision with Verstappen. So yeah, and I can't remember Russell's out. Russell and Tsunoda, I think it was, who took each other out. Tsunoda has yet to finish a race this season. I don't think we'll see him in season 3. Porsche having another crisis on figuring out what to do with the only team to not fail to score a point across both season 1 and season 2 so far, despite the recent good qualifying performances. Of course, safety car is not coming in this lap. We will have a race finishing under safety car. Okay, so we're getting ready to finish this race now. Unfortunately for Apex GP, well, they will get a second. I think it's a personal best of second place. They will not finish in 5th place. It's only Hayes. He will finish Talon P10. At least he'll still score 19 points, so at least a bit less than the what was up for grabs technically. 28. But Lewis Hamilton, there he is now. Around that final corner, he's on the start finish straight. Lewis Hamilton. He becomes the first driver in this fantasy universe history of 2 seasons to win 2 races in a row. And Hayes takes 2nd, Hadjar 3rd, Hulkenberg 4th, Dunn in 5th, but Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. Hayes in 2nd, Hadjar in 3rd for the head of a podium for the Frenchman. It's only Hayes in 2nd place for Apex G once again on the podium. Lewis Hamilton, he strips himself right into this championship contention with only 3 rounds to go, 75 points up for grabs. Here's the race results. Hamilton, Hayes, Isaac Hadjar runs at the podium. Hulkenberg, Alex Dunn, Esteban Ocon, Gabriel Bortoletto, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll and Joshua Pierce for the top 10. And then for the drivers who are out the race is Piastri, Albon, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Sergio Perez, what the heck, Pierre Gasly, Ollie Behrman, Fernando Alonso, Arvid Lundblad, Lando Norris, Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen. That is 3 championship contenders out of the 4 out of this race. It failed to finish. Here's the driver standings then. Charles Leclerc, 113 points still. Lewis Hamilton, 107 points. He is only 6 points behind him, behind Charles Leclerc, and he is 5 points ahead of George Russell, who got 102 points. Kimi Antonelli in P4 is on 98 points, and 15 points behind Charles Leclerc. Technically, the top 5 are only separated by 25 points. I'm pretty sure. So I'm still going to count Lando Norris as in this championship fight, which does mean there was four of the 5 championship contenders who were out of this race. I'm not counting Carlos Sainz, even though Carlos Sainz is 15 points, only 15 points behind Lando Norris. I think that's just enough to say he's not in the championship fight, because that is then 40 points behind Charles Leclerc with only 75 points remaining. Isaac Hadjar, he's had a quite recent surge in good form, up in P8, 62 points, Bortoletto 61 points, Joshua Pierce 57, Oscar Piastri, his race results and points finishes do not do him justice. He's had quite a decent season. Of course, he's had multiple front row qualifying and like high up there in the qualifying. But he's been taking out a lot of races. He's not actually finished a lot of races. He's been taking out some mistakes. So he's down in P11, only 55 points, compared to his teammate up in P5 with 88 points. Alex Dunn is 12th with 54. Alex Albon 52 and 13th. Nico Hulkenberg, despite a podium finish and several good results to this one today, he's only sitting on 43 points. Pierre Gasly 36 points again. You'd think that because of his qualifying being a lot better. Verstappen 35 points, very disappointing for him compared to his teammate, who is, as I said, on 62 after a recent surge in form. Esteban Ocon and Haas with Ollie Behrman as well, 17th and 19th. Again, with how qualifying's going, how the races have been going, you'd think they'd be a lot higher, but they just end up not finishing the races half the time. Just crashed later on, despite finding quite high up quality time. Like the amount of times Ollie Behrman could have finished in the podium this season, it's probably quite high, but he's either ruined himself or been taken out, as I say. So Ocon 30 points in P17, Alonso on 26 points in P18, Ollie Behrman 22 points in P19, Lance Stroll 12 points in P20, Perez and Bottas both on 6 points. So Cadillac have 12 points then, which means they've got the same amount of points that Ollie Behrman does, Lance Stroll does. And then both Arvid Lundblad and Yuki Tsunoda have 0 points. Yuki Tsunoda only finishing 1 race this season, so There it is. Ferrari, 220 points. Mercedes, 200 points. McLaren, 143 points. Apex GP, 128 points. Williams, 125 points. Apex GP up in P4, and Williams in P5. 125 points for Williams. 104 points for Audi. 97 points for Red Bull. 90 points for Braun. Haas, 52. Aston 38, Cadillac 12, and Porsche 0. Guys, we have got 3 races remaining. The next one is at Portugal. And then we head to South Africa and then Las Vegas. It is getting real now. Let's take a look at the drivers who are still mathematically in the champion. I'm pretty sure technically, mathematically, everybody from 14th and above is still in the championship. 14th and above, Sneaker Hulkenberg and above. I'm pretty sure that's literally just on my head on the spot. That still shows with only 3 races remaining in this 15-round season, the fact that still 14 drivers are still technically, mathematically in the championship, it shows something. I still reckon only the top 5 have a chance of winning it, because, well, they're separated by 25 points, with top 4 being separated by 15, and top 3 being separated by 11 points. That's easy maths. I'm disappointed in myself. But yeah, it's top 3 being separated by 11 points and top 2 being separated by 6 points. So it's definitely really only the top 5. But you could rule Carlos Sainz in it, but he is 40 points behind. If he is outscored by Charles Leclerc by 10 points next race, or Lewis Hamilton by 16 points, whatever, etc, etc, that's him out of the championship fight. And that's very much likely, I think. So, yeah, I'm only going to say top 5 in the championship fight. Let's get on then. Between Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, and Lando Norris. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. And don't miss out. It seems like we're going to have potentially. You can see there's only 1 race finish for Yuki Tsunoda. To be fair, not much better for Arthur Lindblad. He's only got 4 race finishes. Lance Stroll. He's actually DNF'd once. I think I've just looked at the thing. Lance Stroll and Sonny Hayes are the only drivers who finished all but 1 race. Everybody's DNF'd once this season. And George Russell, he's DNF'd 3 times. Hamilton's DNF'd 3 times. Kimi Antonelli is DNF'd 4 times in the past 6 races. Yeah. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next couple of rounds in this championship, and get ready for season 3, which I'm going to turn down the downforce level so the cars go a bit slower to get closer racing potentially, and to just increase everything. Season 3 will obviously include a longer calendar probably. And yeah, guys, make sure you like the button and subscribe button. Don't miss out on another video. Goodbye.